What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. I know you guys could probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, you're definitely going to see this one as we're witnessing an explosion on the set. Fox News The 5. We got Jessica Tarl, that Fox News The 5 host, furthering her already strong case to be kicked off the show in this newest update. I'm excited to get into it, guys. So we're not straight into it. Just make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys, hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. Without further ado, let's jump straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
For years, men have been told by the left that not necessary, toxic.
Well, here's the thing with Walz. When men look at him, we know he's not calm. Men know immediately if someone's uncomfortable, especially another guy, and his frantic energy freaks us out. We don't want to be around another guy with that type of energy. We can also tell he's not being honest because he's the kind of guy that tiptoes around things and he's scared to say what he really feels. And we don't like people like that. We also like bosses. He's being bossed around, and we don't respect a guy who's being bossed around. Now, Donald Trump's like an orchestra conductor with the media. Remember, I guess it was the Apprentice days, he was into the tabloid, and then he was into NBC and networks, and then he did the Fox and Friends for a while. And that elevated him, and then he rode cable pretty hard, and he got into the White House, and he did everything. And then he was banished after January 6th. It was out in the wilderness in the media, and he discovered these podcasts. And these podcast guys aren't even news guys. They're guys that are like shocked a former president would come on their show. But he goes in and he's turning out these young men that aren't even news guys. They don't even follow the news. They just see this guy not as a politician, but a cultural phenomenon. And now the Nelk boys, they're going to Penn State. They're going to throw a huge party. And I think Pennsylvania's Trump country after that.
Guys want change.
Hey, Jesse Waters is 100% spot on right there, where he's saying Donald Trump knows how to resonate, and he does resonate well with just any demographic. It just seems like Donald Trump, his plan and policies, it just sits well with so many American people, man. It's showing. It's truly showing.
I think Pennsylvania's Trump country after that.
I can see it.
Guys want change.
That is true, Dana. That is true. What did she mean by that? When you sit down with Trump one-to-one, it's an experience, meaning that you, like any experience, you learn from it. You'll see a mindset that navigates the world. You may not like him at all, but you know that he got there for a reason, and there's stuff to be gained from that. You don't learn a thing from Kamala. There's no semblance of wisdom. It always feels like she has to be there. Not that she wants to be there or that she's even listening to you. With Walz, it's hard to even bring him up. He has a resting snitch face, you know? I mean, he forfeited his man card during COVID and the riots. And you're right. And also, at that diner, of course, he left early. So don't you find it weird that for a terrifying threat to democracy that Trump is, not a single interviewer in his history has approached him with trepidation? If anything, they come at him, often with brutal questions about lawsuits, about affairs. Everything is on the table. Meanwhile, joyful Kamala, so light and lively, wonderful. Interviewers approach her like she's an IED. You know, they tread lightly around her. Did you see Colbert and Stern? You know, I don't want to, I hope this goes well. And Oprah, they treat her like a child that was just rescued from a well. Every question is carefully worded at a snail's pace. Don't you find that strange that, like, the guy that's so dangerous, they come at, and the person that's so joyful, they tiptoe around?
Judge,
That's a fact. That's a fact right there. Greg Gutfeld bringing it up. Maybe the person who's so joyful, puts this stuff out there, paints that picture, say they're so joyful, isn't really so joyful behind the scenes. And that's why people were handling her with those kid gloves, tossing those softball questions that are, placating for this candidate, because her campaign is telling them, hey, you can't, certain things are off the table. Don't ask these questions. Don't ask those questions.
The person that's so joyful, they tiptoe around.
Judge,
What a great point.
Thank you
he has
so
got a
much.
great
I came
point.
up with it on the
Would
bike.
you like to add to his point?
Well, what I'd like to add is that I had to look up the world of Warcraft because I didn't know what it was. And I found out that it is like this video game, and I think they wanted to be cool with Walls. And so they have a kid playing this Warcraft game, video game. It's up on the screen while Walls is speaking. Walls doesn't learn the game. He doesn't play the game. He doesn't do anything with the game. They just have this thing up there while Waltz is speaking. It's like they can't connect. Whereas Donald Trump, you just saw him. I mean, he's relatable. He's seen as cool, and he has a swagger. And you know, this whole thing about the bros. I mean, I think it was Waltz who was booed at a football game. I think it was the University of Michigan, which is supposed to be one of the blue wall states. Yeah. And I mean, it's not even close. So you got this World of Warcraft video game that's 20 years old, and it's not even, by the way, in the top 15 games now. And
you did a deep dive.
Wow, Judge Jeanine came with straight cold hard facts saying this is not the way to relate or to resonate with young voters. World of Warcraft, wow. She's saying this is a 20-something-year-old game. Judge Jeanine is exactly right to be saying that. It's a game that a lot of young folks, I will say, the 18 to 30 crowd don't know much about. Judge Jeanine's hitting on the point saying they just don't know how to do it. They just don't know how to relate to the American people. Whether that be you're young, you're old, you're a woman, or you're a man, they just cannot relate.
Even, by the way, in the top 15 games now. And
you did a deep dive.
Gotta have Walls, who doesn't even go to war. He ditches the battalion before war and can't even make believe he's playing in a war.
Jessica, there is a huge gender gap, might be the biggest ones that we've had in several decades. And there was this morning, as I was going through, reading about the concerns that Democrats have. A lot of them have to do with the fact that they don't think that men will turn out to vote. She doesn't have to win all the men, but she needs certainly black men there seem to be really worried about, too. Can she fix that in the next 3 weeks?
I hope so. They're definitely trying. It's top of mind with all of this, and I do appreciate the explanation of World of Warcraft, but the point was being on a Twitch stream where a majority of young men are spending their time, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Donald Trump also on a Twitch stream before we go to vote on November 5th.
The difference between Donald Trump appearing on a Twitch stream and, Harris Walls appearing on a Twitch stream, Donald Trump is going to hit the mark. He's going to hit the hottest Twitch stream out there. He's going to hit the one that, young voters relate to the most versus, Harris Walls, they'll hit some random Twitch stream that's barely pulling 100 viewers.
If we saw Donald Trump also on a Twitch stream before we go to vote on November 5th, it's smart to go where the peoples are. Outreach, especially to black men, is something that they're focused on. Things like barbershop tours, doing a lot of focus grouping in these blue wall states to talk to young men about what their lives are like, what their priorities are, the economy coming up over and over again, wanting to know specifically what is the deliverable. What did you do for me as part of the Biden-Harris administration? What will be different in the Harris-Walls administration? But I find it difficult to sit for all of these discussions about how the Democrats are blowing it with men and this is irredeemable and, we're terrible and we belittle, et cetera, when the gender gap on the other side with women is bigger than the gap with men. So
oh my goodness.
Donald Trump is losing to Kamala Harris with women 15 to 20 points.
Here we go. She flips the narrative, the blame shifting. It's not Kamala Harris and Tim Walz not being able to pull in men voters. It's Donald Trump not being able to pull in women at this point. That's the problem we should be worried about.
And, we're terrible and we belittle, et cetera, when the gender gap on the other side with women is bigger than the gap with men. So Donald Trump is losing to Kamala Harris with women 15 to 20 points, which is bigger than the margins of any Republicans have before. And I don't hear the Republican tour about women. I just hear him even on with Andrew Schultz, doubling down on, it was good to get rid of Roe. That's no problem. I mean, Andrew Schultz set him up perfectly with a hilarious joke about how Barron is such a stud and bet you're feeling bad about getting rid of Roe v. Wade. Mm-hmm. And Trump can't even nail it because it's so ludicrous that he's a, quote, protector of women. That's the outreach to these women who are saying the Republican Party has abandoned us. They do not care about our needs.
Is she speaking for all women right now? Is this Jessica Tarlov, the voice for women up there? I'm really confused. She is speaking for all women in America. I mean, it's crazy to hear this.
The Republican Party has abandoned us. They do not care about our needs. They do not understand our health. They do not understand our health care issues. They don't understand family planning. They don't even know how it works. You don't even have a heartbeat at 6 weeks.
It's hard for men to hear abortion described as family planning.
Wow.
Really? Would it be hard?
Because
we are talking about women.
No, let me finish. Because
she's trying to, they're describing it as family planning is just, that's wild to me. I was, at first it kind of went over my head. Then Greg Gutfeld pointed out, no way, that's what they're calling family planning, guys. That is family ending, if anything.
Because we are talking about women.
No, let me finish. Because whenever you have to rely on a euphemism to describe the reality itself is awful. That's all I'm saying.
But
call it what it is. You're sucking a fetus out of the womb.
No, but
the reality is often when you're talking about, some of these third-term abortions.
Oh my goodness, guys. It just seems like Jessica Tarlov is in one of those ping pong machines right now, and she's getting ponged back and forth by Greg Gutfeld, Judge Jeanine. They're having a good old sit down. This is what Jessica Tarlov really needs, I believe.
The reality is often when you're talking about, some of these third-term abortions, it's about
that's not the reality. That's what you want to tell people the reality is.
Well, no,
the reality
that is a reality
majority
in
of
some
abortions
states.
are
But
in
the bottom
first
line
trimester.
is Donald Trump is protecting women
No,
in terms
he's
of
not.
law and order.
Women,
are you kidding me?
law and
As the
order.
criminals run through this country and they're bailed out because people like Kamala Harris
and
made a decision that we.
Oh my goodness. Just ready to tell a lie. Crime is down. Look at Jessica Tarlov's face right now, guys. I just want to point it out. Look at her, guys. She knows she is caught. She looks like a deer stuck in headlights. And she didn't know what to say. She didn't know what to say, so she just resorts to pushing out the lies, gaslighting the people. This is what Judge Jeanine and Greg Gutfeld will do to you, man. When you just are absolutely wrong and you're just so loud about it, they'll have you having this face for sure.
Said that, okay, women are overwhelmingly Democrat. There are more women voters, right? You guys you can vote for abortion. Go for it. No one's stopping you. You have to convince other women, not men. You have to convince other men to your side.
Okay.
Yo, there we have it, guys. I had to leave it on the stop shot. That face right there, I mean, it is gold. That right there is the face that should be in the dictionary. When you look up TDS, that Trump derangement syndrome, this image right here should show. I'm telling you right now, guys, she is too far gone for saving. I mean, every single time a point is being brought up that is slamming down on their candidate, they have to somehow flip it and turn it on to Donald Trump is losing worse than what my candidate. Donald Trump is failing. He has failed you guys worse than what my candidate could. It just does not make sense. They always try to make an excuse for their candidate. We see the god awful track record along the string of lies, the list of lies that we've got. This coming from both the vice presidential candidate and her running mate. I mean, they both are flat out liars. They will lie and do whatever it takes in order to secure a vote. And I'll leave you guys with my thought as to why Harris Walz's campaign is having so much trouble drawing in significant amount of male voter support. And that is because men are voting based off the facts and not on their feelings. We don't care about, the mean words or the way people are taking the truth of what a candidate may have said in the past. We're voting based off their track record, what they've done in the past, what they can do for the American people, their current policies and positions. And that's exactly why they're having so much trouble, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section, though. Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.